Hey, bitches, we made a special montage of our favorite guests answering.
Did I make the montage?
Nope, Josh is not in it. Answering the pivotal questions. What does the OC mean to you?
I still get residuals. Is that no.
Yeah, we do still get
That's
residuals.
right. The serious answer to that question would be, I think it was a great show to work on because, I mean, all the usual stuff, the cast and the crew and the writers and producers everyone was really focused on making it the best show it could be. And for a show that was all about drama, there was very little drama behind the scenes, which was fantastic. But I think especially looking at it now, I think it was sort of a microcosm of a society, because the OC was a very closed society. And so having that element in working out to like millions of people who were not in that closed society, it was kind of this contrast of people who were not in that society wanting to be in that society, who couldn't be in that society. And the show, in a way, was dealing with that through Ryan's character, who had come from out of that world and had to now figure out how to live in that world. So there was an interesting sort of social dynamic to the show that I always really enjoyed. And like I said, especially looking back on it now, I think I wasn't as aware of it doing it. But now that I look back on it with the 20
years.
It's like, wow, that was a pretty amazing, show. It dealt with some really interesting issues, but in a light way. It never hit you over the head with it. And so I think that was really a great part of working on the show.
Right. It had a cultural impact,
Yeah,
and that's what we're
huge.
trying to explore here.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we're still here talking about it.
That was a really nice answer.
That was
there you go.
lovely.
There you go.
Thank you.
I have the big thoughts. And then the residuals are good.
Well, thank you so much for sharing and
Thank
your
you.
input and your
You're
presence and
Uncle
your
Munkle.
jokes.
Oh, that's right. All that.
For me, whenever you work on a show for a long period of time, you develop a group of like cohorts and friends and colleagues. And to like varying degrees, like some people you work with and you kind of never see them again. But the group of writers, especially on the OC, like I see them all the time. So I feel like that has been the most important thing to me, like the friends I continue to have from that show.
Aww.
Right, you went on to Gossip Girl. You guys,
I
right?
think we
And you went on to, to work with Josh on other shows as well, right?
Yeah, and I did 5 years of Gotham with Ben. And you came on Gotham as well, Melinda, for a while. That was super fun.
I did.
Weren't you married to Paul Rubens on the show? I feel like you were.
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was. And then I ate my children.
That's right.
Oh,
That
gross.
was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
And obviously Lila the Gerst. We can't not mention our little Gerst.
I love
over
that you
here.
call her the Gerst, Rachel.
Oh, I know. And she hates it. I know she doesn't like that.
You know, John, we should have I should have taken your suggestion a while back of having like a round table of all of the OC writers. And we should have done an episode like that. I think you suggested that to me at one point because
that would have been a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you guys included me. It's really nice to be here. I do really have a soft spot for the OC in my heart because I was just involved with it for so long. And I look back on the period of time with a lot of affection for everybody, for the cast and the crew. And I'm so grateful that a lot of my friendships have endured. So,
Aww. Well, we love you, Norman. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
Working on it meant I learned an incredible amount of sort of the craft of editing, clearly. Working on it meant for me having sort of a chosen family out here. It was fun because not fun. It was odd because again, I found these people on the first season and I had to go away. So I was sort of like, I was having fear of missing out. Like kids call it, what is it? FOMO. Yep. So I had that fear of missing out, but at the same time, I was like, I felt very connected to everyone. I did actually pop into season 2 to assist for a bit in the middle, but then I had the other thing. And then what it ultimately meant was the ability to bring my own self into the work and to find ways to the things I always wanted in life, which was family, connection, this sort of deep understanding of character, and to showcase that in a way that made me feel like I was giving to the world. So and I always and to this day there are people I've met who said that finale is so incredible, and they send me their pictures of Captain Oates and Princess Sparkle that are still sitting on their desks, and I just think that's so special, and for everyone who worked on it, we all know it was a really unique group of people. It was really beautiful, and I remember the last day of filming, there was these pickup shots that were being done on the stage, and everyone was crying. So everyone was just like crying, and Ian Toynton is just like, everyone, let's keep going, keep going, everyone keep going. But it was just it was a beautiful experience. The first experience I had where I just felt like everyone was so close. And again, as Peter Gallagher said, we're these nomads, but then we find these really close family connections.
You know what's cool about it now? And I hadn't thought about it until I watched it. I now have a show that all kinds of people ask me, what can I watch you on? And I can say, go watch all of the OC. Watch the whole thing. And I'm in it. I'm just in the last season, but you're going to enjoy it. There's a bunch of great young people, pretty young people, fun young people. They're living rich and having a good time. And you will have a good time. And it's a show you can watch. Because a lot of times they say, what should I watch? And I give them a movie. Watch Ray Charles. And the next week they want another movie. But I'm going to now give them the OC. Watch the OC from beginning to end. What is it, 95 episodes?
Yeah, 94 or something like that.
Yeah.
Two?
So 92?
I thought it was 92.
Yeah.
But you mean he gets them off your back for a while?
Well, no, I just see a lot of I get the question a lot. I want to see you in something, man. What? Especially kids. Older people, I can say, Free State of Jones, I just did, or I just did God Bless the Broken Road. Try that. Or if, depending on where I meet them, who they are, I know what to tell them. But a lot of, if a 15-year-old comes up to me and goes, what can I see you in? Or if his mother's talking to me, he goes, what can I see you in? And now I can say, the OC was a series, and you can find it and move them right into that. Because I think they'll enjoy it. It's not dated at all, really. Mm-mm. A lot of those shows are dated in a hurry. They're dated. This show's not dated. It was like it was made, it was off the air last year. Yeah.
So. There was some timelessness about it. And it was so fun. And man, you were just such a wonderful. I mean, I enjoyed literally in between scenes. You and I would stay on set. Some people disappear and go to their trailers. We would just hang out and talk.
Right.
And I love just picking your brain. And my daughter was like 7 at the time. And your daughter was how old is she now?
My daughter is turning 40 next week.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So she was like the age that my daughter is now. She's 23. Or so she was. So I just asked you, I would constantly ask you anything that was going on. I'm like, well, my daughter did this. What do you think about that? You had gave me so much great advice. So I appreciated it. Those are and then we kind of emailed each other a couple times after the show. But it's really just personally, so genuinely, I'm so happy that we reconnected.
Oh gosh. It meant so much. I mean, it was the start of so much in my life, and it gave me opportunity. It gave me structure. It gave me experience. It opened doors that I could never have imagined opening. It was so much for me. It was like I never got to go to high school. I never really got to go to any of that stuff. So if you could personify what those 4 years like meant for everyone else and kind of shove it all into like 9 months, but then times that by like the power of 10, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It was just like, it was so much. It meant so much. And I'm forever grateful and I'm forever thankful and look back on it so fondly.
Oh, wonderful.
It completely changed my life. It was such an iconic show when I came onto it. And just even to get the audition in the first place was a big deal. And then to be invited onto the show as a guest star was a huge deal and a lot of pressure because I knew how many people were watching it and how much it meant to people. And then from there to keep getting written into it, enormous and huge and nerve-wracking. And, I was just always kind of trying to keep up with you guys. So, yeah, it completely changed my life. I'm really grateful for it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
How much time do you have?
Right, that's a big one.
No, I mean, the OC was like a huge turning point in my life. Like, I went from when I started on the OC, I was an executive. I had done some writing on different projects, but I wasn't a WGA member. I never had any writing with like my name on it produced. When I started, I was like Josh's executive boss, and he was like handing his scripts into me and giving me, I would give him notes and like that he would have to execute. And then I went to being a baby writer where now I was giving him my script and like praying that he liked my writing. And, out of that I became a writer. I left my job as an executive. I was on the OC full time for 2.5 years. Josh and I did Gossip Girl together. It's like so many things have come out of that. Not to mention like friendships and just, experiences and learning, all of that stuff. But
we have come to learn through doing this podcast how many careers were launched by this show.
Yeah.
Editors, everything, writers, actors. Just huge amount of people have, and you guys kept a lot of people in the family. They went on to work with you on other shows as well.
Yeah, no, we've kept a lot of, writers that we continue to work with. And we were so lucky with crew that, that was also a terrible thing about the show ending is there's like 200 people that have lost their jobs. That crew was able to go work on, a lot of the crew was able to go work on Chuck with Josh. And then some of those people were able to work on Heart of Dixie. So it's like, 15 years of employment. That's like incredible.
It's amazing
how the business works.
It is, but
it was a joy to work with you guys, and it was so fun to do this.
It
podcast.
always is. And that's what everyone who comes in says, like how awesome the workplace was, and like having you and Josh at the helm, just how amazing of an experience and collaborative, and nothing but positive compliments.
That's so nice.
Yeah. And obviously we agree.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? And maybe I can send you guys this video. I was on this pilot I was shooting. One of the writers mentioned, do you remember Josh, Rachel, Melinda? Do you remember Efren?
Yes. Yep.
F.
The PA, right?
He's now he's way up at Disney, ABC studio somewhere. He sent through these writers, sent me the video of my what I said at the end of when we wrapped, when I had done my last scene, and I started getting teary-eyed because I had moved to Los Angeles the year before the OC. I knew no one, almost no one. I was very lonely. I was probably as depressed as I've ever been in my life, and the show changed everything. And I had all of these friends, and that's what I talked about in the clip. I'll send it to you guys.
All right, well, we've been doing them all night, right? And we've been doing it well, right? And here it goes, the last one of the day. Mr. Ben McKenzie, the man, the legend, he's the center. He brought it all together every day. He was an amazing force all day long. He brought it, and I love him a lot. And good luck. And that's a picture wrap on Mr. Ben McKenzie.
Say that when in March of 2003, I didn't know it for a year, and I had 2 friends. It's fucking miserable, and now I have a lot more, and so thank you. Fucking changed my life, and you guys are amazing. And if I ever run into any of you, I hope to, grab a beer or catch up or whatever. So you're all amazing. And, no, I'll never forget this. Thanks.
that's how I feel. It opened up my world. I'm very grateful for it.
Love it.
That's so sweet. I want to see the video.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
Okay. Well, I don't remember. Maybe he was an AD. I said PA. I hope
He was working his way up the AD.
He was working his way up. Like he was handling us. I know that.
He was in the
Yeah,
DGA
he was
training.
He was young.
for-
We were all
Handling
young.
you guys.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Oh, he's a great dude.
I remember
Yeah,
Ben
he
was
was
the last
awesome.
one to wrap.
You
on
were the last one
day.
to wrap.
We shot one close up. That's the shot of him at Berkeley. And we actually shot that on the Cohen, in the backyard, but to make it look like it was at Berkeley. And Ben was the last one to wrap.
Aww.
I'm gonna try and drop it in the chat now. This little thing, if I
Yeah.
can find it. But don't wait on me.
That'd be great.
All
I'll
right.
just tell you. I always tell Brody's last words were, "Well, it's been lucrative."
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot.
Brody.
You forgot. He said for some of us.
Oh, for some of us.
He said that for some of us?
Did he? I think he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
The OC means everything to me. I am so grateful to this day for all that it has brought me. Not only the relationships I made then and now. Josh Schwartz, who is my brother, he came into my life 20 years ago. Mindy's been in my life for 20 years, and we now have shared this new experience together. It brings back nothing but fond memories. I love the OC.
When we finished the show, I actually had constant thoughts in my head of reminiscing about it. I've said this many times on the podcast of just like what an experience it was and how unique it was and why it was so well received. And then a few years later, 18 years to be exact, I guess, Rachel asked me to do this podcast. And that experience, who knew? We thought we were just going to be chatting about it, but it had so many wonderful gifts. And the biggest reward was reconnecting with people. And not only that, Rachel, Tate just told me the other day, and he talked about it on the new podcast, about how important it was that it was healing for him as well. And I keep hearing healing, and he's listened to every episode. And then we hear about all the people that we collectively worked with. And I think it's a wonderful gift that we were able to do this podcast and totally rediscover the magic that it was. And we're still talking about it today. And to all the listeners and the fans, we're doing this because of you. So it was really just a joy to have done all of this.
Agreed.
Welcome to the OC Bitches is brought to you by Cast Media. Executive produced by Colin Thompson, Harris Lane, produced by Katie Curtwright,
Edited by Parker Flores and our technical engineers, Travis Holden and Dustin Park.